Welcome back and Merry Christmas. It's December and we're going to celebrate Christmas for all of those out there that are celebrating by looking at a simple Christmas carol, Jingle Bells, and showing you how to harmonize a seemingly simple song using some simple ideas from chord substitutions and reharmonization techniques. So I'm going to do the following thing. I'm going to first of all play Jingle Bells in the basic form. Then I'm going to show you my particular reharmonization of it. And then we're going to discuss why I chose and how I chose some of these different and new chords. So there are two main techniques or tricks that were used in reharmonizing this song. The first is called the minor third substitution. So if you have a major chord, you can usually substitute it for a minor chord that is a minor third below it. For the case of C, you take C, you count 3 semitones, which is a minor third, 1, 2, 3. And you can play AM instead. For F, you count 1, 2, 3. You can play D minor instead. For G, 1, 2, 3. You can play E minor instead. The second idea is the 2-5-1 substitution, and I've spoken about it in length in previous videos. Just going to give you a reminder here. The idea is that if you want to land on a particular chord, say a D. But then what you do is you construct the D minor or major scale, it doesn't matter. Let's take the major scale. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And in this scale, you outline the second degree, E, the fifth degree, A, and the root, D, to which you want to get to, or to which you want to get. And you can precede the D, the 1, by either a 5 chord, which can be an A or an A minor, or if you have enough space and time, a 2-5-1, which would be, say, an E minor to an A to a D, or an E7th, dominant 7, to an A, to a D, or any of these different combinations. So instead of just playing D, you can play E minor to A to D. Or you can precede D with an E minor, A, D. If there's not enough time, then you simply use just the fifth. So just A to D. With those two ideas in mind, let's go look at the verse and the chorus. So let's look at the verse. On the top row you can see the original version, and on the bottom row you can see the reharmonized version. In the first bar we have a minor third substitution where a C is substituted by an A minor. Now to understand the following chords, there's a DMG, which is a 2-5 that is supposed to lead to a 1, which is the C, which appears at the beginning of the second bar of the unharmonized version. Now to understand why there's an E minor, A minor, D minor in the second bar, you should realize that the EM to AM to DM is just a 2-5-1 for the DM. So remember, a 2-5-1 in the key of D is E to A to D. And that's exactly what's happening there. Instead of just playing a D minor, I've decided to precede it by an E minor to an A minor to a D minor. Once again, the A7 leading to the D minor in the third bar is also a 5-1 substitution. And finally, the D minor G C in the fourth bar is again a 2-5-1 substitution. Let's look next at the chorus. So the chorus has 2 repetitions, and I've decided to use slightly different voicings for each repetition just to show you different ways of approaching the same reharmonization problem. So let's look at the first repetition. Now, the first bar is very similar to the first bar of the verse. We have the minor third substitution going from C to A minor, and then we have a 2-5-1, D minor to G to C. Then another minor third substitution back to an A minor in the second bar. And then we have a 2-5-1 leading up to, actually I'll retrace just a bit. We have a minor third substitution in the third bar, so I've replaced F with a D minor. And then we have the E minor, but then we have a 2-5-1 leading up to this D minor. So we have an E minor leading to an A7, leading to a D minor at the beginning of the third bar. And then we have another 2-5-1, another E to A to a D. Because where we're headed is a D or a D minor at the beginning of the fourth bar. You can see that I've switched the D for a D minor. So we have an E7 to an A minor to a D, a 2-5-1. After the D comes a D minor. And this is a major to minor substitution. It's discussed in one of my other videos about chord substitutions, so just look for major to minor substitutions on YouTube and you'll find it. And finally, there is an F minor just after the D minor. And this is another major to minor substitution where there should have been an F there, but I've replaced it with its minor version. And this works actually pretty well. A minor fourth is a good chord to put before a major 5. Looking at the second repetition of the chorus, chords are similar but just a little different, so I'll show you what changed. Now, what changed here is, first of all, I kept the F in the third bar. I didn't substitute it for D minor. And this means that I've decided to precede it with a 2-5-1 in the key of F. A 2 is a G, a 5 is a C, and a 1 is an F. And this is exactly why there is a G minor to a C7 to an F going into the third bar. There is also a major to minor substitution in the third bar from F to F minor, then a C, and then there's a 2-5-1 in which I pushed the G in the fourth bar of the original version ahead by a bit and preceded it with a 2-5-1. In the key of G, that's an A to a D to a G. So that's why there's an A to a D to a G. and then there's a C, and a little G there, which is a 5-1 substitution because the ending chord is a C. So a 5-1 would be a G and a C. So that's why there's G at the end of the reharmonized version of the chorus. So I hope this example sort of showed you how universal the 2-5-1 substitution is and how to approach the reharmonization of a song. There are no hard rules for doing this, just as looking at the chorus shows. We have two reharmonizations of the chorus here, a different one for each repetition. And different people would have surely used different reharmonizations and chord substitutions as well. That's it. I hope that you learned something. I'm gonna finish up with a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next time.